It is week 5. This is the Fantasy Slant. We are going to build a team that can't be beat. We're going to break through all of these week's games, the ones going on. I think we do need to talk a little bit about ones that ended Monday night as well. So, we're going to get all of that in the next hour. Get your questions in on where you're stuck with fantasy, and we are going to find the right fits for you. So, Jim, take it away, man. Tell me what you got on your mind.
So, I was a little upset last week. I was kind of happy for you guys against the Chiefs because we all mocked how much of a blowout it was going to be. And, I don't know if my brother is going to be on, but the Jets actually gave him a run for their money. So that was surprising to see. Maybe it was a trap game for KC, or maybe the Jets are a little bit better than we thought. I don't know.
Yeah.
To be determined, right?
Yeah, it wasn't looking good in the first quarter when it was 17-0. I was just like, oh, God.
Yep.
But, yeah, Zach Wilson definitely he looked like a much different player than we've seen over the last 2 years. I mean, just much more comfortable in the pocket compared to what we've seen before, where he's almost always scrambling for his life instantly.
Yep.
He looked really good. I was very encouraged by it. Morning, Alex. Good to see you, brother.
Morning. Does he carry that into today? That's the question. Is it one and done, or does he take that momentum and move forward?
So I think that is the absolute question that everybody will be watching today, because I hope it continues. I mean, obviously, I hope it continues, but. That is the biggest concern on my mind today was that real? Was that the next step that quarterbacks take, or was that the Chiefs went up 17-0 and they were sleeping on them and they kind of fell apart, So I'm very curious to see exactly that. What's it gonna be? Is it forward or is it back? If it's back, forget it.
And then really, the end of that game, I'll say really the last, again, I didn't watch the whole game, but the last drive of that game, when I realized, hey, there's something here, let me turn it on. The last drive of that game, some controversial calls, a holding call on an interception, and well after the interception.
Yeah.
And then that obvious holding call where Mahomes, what did he run for 22 yards for the first down or something? I mean, he's swatting the player. What are they looking at? They don't see that big white mitt going. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
then, what do you think?
So there were plays on both sides of that I understand people's argument with the face mask thing. If you saw that with the safety, because he did, and this is where. I shouldn't say I agree with it. I understand what they're saying, because the face mask, he had his hand on his face mask outside the end zone, but didn't start pulling his head until in the end zone. So if you call a face mask every time somebody touches the face mask, the game's never going to get played.
Right.
So to me, yes, you have to. It was a safety because the head was being pulled at that point. He could have let go, and it wouldn't have been a face mask penalty. But the fact that he, started dragging his head around in the end zone is what made it a penalty. But so with that interception, I had a lot of heartburn with that. Could you have called maybe not holding, but I guess it wouldn't have been pass interference. But yeah, I mean, you could have called holding, I think, on that play. But the fact that 15 yards down the field and an interception later, the flag hadn't come out.
Right.
That's exactly, like, I find that very weird. If you're going to call the hold 15 yards back before the ball is even in the air, why isn't the flag in the air by the time the ball is out?
That's right. And he kind of double pumps too. I mean, okay, illegal contact, yes, right? We agree with that. Illegal contact. But I mean, I didn't see anything that was that deliberate to warrant a flag.
No. And all it was the wide receivers trying to change directions quick, and Sauce was all over him. So there was that contact there, which they've been playing. I mean, that's football. You play through that stuff. So, for me, I had a lot of I feel like that call was because of the interception, not because of the illegal contact. And then on that hold, I mean, I was screaming at the TV in real time because I mean that the angle that we had from the television was right over that shot, right? Or it was right over the hold. Like you were looking right at it. And I'm just, and you see his hands up, like slapping him in the helmet. Let me go. And people are still trying to say, well, no, he just held him in place. And I was like, there was a point to where he was actually around the backside and was pulled back in front of him. And I was just like,
I don't think he would have ran through the line and got the 20 some odd yards that he needed to get the first down if he wasn't being held.
Right, because he would have forced him to change directions and not go straight up the middle, most likely. I mean, he might have still gotten it. We don't know, but
I mean, he may have thrown a ball or thrown it out of bounds or, just to end the play because there was nobody open. That's why he ran in the first place.
And then that changes your entire and changes the entire game right there. I mean, a 7-minute drive to end the game. I mean, that's just
I don't understand as a Kansas City Chief, and then as a Chief fan, the fans there, how many of them were wanting him to just run that ball in? How many of them laid the points against the Jets? And then here he goes. He's already up, 3 points. He goes in, he can go up 10 points with 34 seconds left? And he's what is he worried about them scoring 10 in 34 seconds to tie the game? Or 2 touchdowns to beat them?
We did it against the Browns last year.
I know, but I don't understand. You think that the fan base, you would do it. You know who used to do stuff like that? Bill Cowher for the Steelers. When the game was over and he knew they weren't covering the spread, he'd try and punch it in anyway because he's doing it for the fans. Because he knows the fans laid the points. He knows the fans bet on his team. And Mahomes has to know that too. I couldn't believe him sliding at the 1 yard line.
Yeah. I understand it.
3 or 4 minutes left, not 30 seconds.
I don't know. I mean, you slide right.
End the game, but,
you slide right there, and there's no chance for the team to come back at all. There's just
there was still going to be none with 34
most
seconds
likely
or whatever. Come on. You do it for the fan base. It's
well, I don't know. It didn't hurt my feelings.
What about his guys that take him in fantasy? That have in fantasy. He could
fantasy. It hurts. Vegas made millions on that slide, which was great for Vegas, I guess. Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. I
just don't.
We'll see what happens with the we'll see what happens with the Jets this week. I'm excited. We'll talk about that for sure. Yeah. And your Giants, though, you've got to be a little bit concerned here. I mean, this is. It didn't even look like the Seahawks were really giving it. They were giving it the old college try. It looked like it didn't even. And it was easy.
It was the center went down right away with a shoulder injury. Then Bredesen went out, another lineman out. We had a makeshift line, and Jones was running for his life. Call hike, run for your life, getting clobbered, just running the ball. We couldn't throw the ball to anybody. And really, it comes down to 2 plays: the strip fumble, and they run it in. Because really, what Seattle wasn't moving the ball at all. Seattle couldn't move the ball either. So the Giants' defense, I think, did well against Metcalf and everybody else, Lockett, the other guys they have. But the interception driving for the pick six was deflating, to say the least. But really, to me, it was those 2 plays, the strip, and both of them resulted in touchdowns. Yeah. Right. So I mean, that was what changed the game. Otherwise, Seattle really didn't do anything offensively.
Yeah, I mean, I had Geno Smith, and he didn't do very much. No. I think Kenneth Walker had a nice game on the ground overall. Broke off some nice runs, but to me, watching that game, it didn't feel like Seattle was really trying. Like it just looked like. They were like, yeah, we're going to win this game and we'll just take it easy. And they weren't pushing downfield a lot. You didn't see a lot of risky plays from Geno at all. They had that team so one-dimensional that they didn't really have to do anything. It's kind of,
Well, he got hurt too. He got hurt. I don't know if you saw that.
He did get hurt for a little bit and came back in.
Turned his ankle a little bit.
Yeah, and then came back. But I feel like it's the exact opposite of the Jets. Like it's exactly what I watch every week. And we've talked about it. Like with Zach Wilson, nobody was scared of him. So you just stack the box, stop the run. It's the complete opposite. Well, I guess it's the same, right? They're not afraid of Daniel Jones. They're afraid of Saquon Barkley.
Right.
And once Saquon's out of the game, they just sit back and they just, they bring some pressure, but they sit back and they want him to throw it because they can't run the ball. You don't even have to try to stop the run because it's not there.
The only runner is Jones. I mean, Breida does a little bit of stuff. I don't know. What do you have? 40 yards maybe. But Breida may have did he have a touchdown? He may have had a touchdown. I don't remember now. No, that game was what, 24-3. No, he didn't.
Yeah, no touchdowns.
No. So no, it was just the whole game was just, we every time we tried to get something going, it just failed for one reason or another. And then and like I said, Seattle 24 points, 14 on turnovers. So,
yeah, it was sloppy, just a sloppy game.
Terrible game.
Yeah. But with that, and there's no Saquon again this week, which we'll start breaking these games down. That's coming up, but it's not going to be a fun game for you guys, I don't think.
Yeah. So, Alex, you don't agree with the Pats trading for JC? Is that what you're saying?
No,
the clown JC.
Yeah, well, they didn't trade. Wait, I don't know what Alex is talking about because JC Jackson was a free agent. Did they trade him away?
I think so.
Did I miss that? When did that happen?
For a late round pick, maybe. Or
Alex, fill me in here. I'm usually pretty good at paying attention to the news. I got something this morning too that said Jamar Chase is requesting a trade.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I wanted to see if that was true or not, but
I saw that too. It may be one of those memes that are like the MFL instead of the NFL.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
so many of these spoof.
I don't know if it's true. The Pats now late round
swaps. Yeah, I thought so.
Okay, I'm looking it up right. It's like not even on the. It's not even on the Patriots page.
Yeah,
did it just happen?
No, a couple days ago.
Man, I mean,
maybe Wednesday, midweek, somewhere.
I've been really busy at work, but man, I usually get the breaking news things, and that would be a breaking news. But so, Alex, you do know with J.C. Jackson going back to the Patriots, he's going to be a Pro Bowl corner again. So, there it is, 4 days ago. How did I miss that?
Yeah, I thought it was midweek. Yeah,
that's insane. I apologize for that. You'd think that should have come across as like breaking news, but he played terribly for you guys. I think a lot of just trouble. He probably needs that Bill Belichick discipline to actually play well because man, he seems extremely undisciplined, and that seems to be his
sideline with his shoes untied.
Wow.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean on paper that looked like an outstanding addition for you guys in free agency, but not a good fit at all. So, all right, let me bring these up and let's.
So let me tell you. So last week, how do you think you did? I ranked 14 games that we picked. How do you think you did as far as wins? How many wins out of 14?
I know I went off of you guys a lot, and I saw a couple of them. I'm going to say
it's pretty similar. The three of us were pretty similar.
I'm going to say 9.
Actually, better than that.
Really?
So John went 10-4, and you and I were 11-3.
Wow.
You believe that?
That's awesome. See, we know what we're talking about. People, come on, get on board. Let's go.
The Giants. I went. If I would have used my head, I could have been 12-2. But
but you couldn't do it. You just couldn't do it. Yeah. I mean, so when you're watching, subscribe. Tell all your friends. Like this is where you come for your advice if you want to be right. 7 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm taking those odds in Vegas. If you're going to tell me I'm going to win 7 out of 10 hands. I'm sitting at the table all night.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So let's get to today. So right now, Jaguars are playing the Bills. I again started Trevor Lawrence. And if he doesn't score a touchdown here, it's going to probably be the last time that I start him in fantasy. 11-7. There
Big
is
game.
8 minutes left. Jacksonville is at the 6, first and goal. They could essentially maybe put this game away here, but yeah, so that one's coming down to the wire here. And as we prepare for our games at the top of the hour, let's talk Texans and Falcons. We haven't really been talking the Texans, but I think we have to start talking about CJ Stroud because he's legit. He's for real, I think.
I mean, 30 points last week, 30-6 they beat Pittsburgh last week.
Yeah.
Right. And I think we all took Texans last week, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's so I haven't felt like we should really talk about the Texans much, but last week I did say I'm starting CJ Stroud in daily with Nico Collins, and if anybody followed me on that paid. Like that was, Nico Collins had an awesome game last week, wow. And CJ Stroud looks real. So this is Jacksonville
17-7 Jags.
What was the touchdown? Did you see it?
Number one. Who's number one on the Jags?
I think that's ETN. They rushed it in.
Yeah. I just saw him crossing the goal line, so I don't know if it was a
it was a rush.
If it was a screen pass or okay.
Oh, damn it, Trevor Lawrence! All
right, where's Trevor Lawrence Simmons?
He hasn't been on in a while. He's probably watching. He's watching the game probably right now. So, but yeah, so this Texans, this is big for us AFC East guys. If the Bills fall to 3-2 like that, that's a huge upset right there. So, right. You don't mess with Jacksonville overseas. Like that's their territory. So, all right. So Texans, Falcons. I like CJ Stroud a lot, and I think if you have Nico Collins, which I'm kicking myself because I was hyping him up last year, and he was out there on the waiver wires. And I looked at him and I didn't pick him up. Now, of course, he's long gone. I looked at him like the second week of the season and I was like, maybe this is the year. It is the year for him. So if you've got him, congratulations. But I love that duo for this Texans team. And from the Falcons side, I mean, that Desmond Ridder, I mean, he's having that second year struggles bad, right? Robinson is legit running back one. I think they don't use him enough. I would give him the rock probably 80% of the time and take that off of Ridder. But and Kyle Pitts is just no longer fantasy relevant. I mean, there is nothing left there for Kyle Pitts. Unfortunately, has to leave this team, or else his career is going to go down as a nice rookie season, and that was the end of that. So.
That's it. I mean, he only scored 7 points last week in Jacksonville, which is almost a home game for them. It's right down the road. But he's got to get out of there. I mean, it was one thing if he had Matt Ryan, but without anybody there truly to throw to him,
it's a disaster.
Not doing anything. So
which is
obviously
insane.
We're both taking Houston. That's what you're saying.
I am definitely taking Houston, and surprisingly, Atlanta is a 2.5 point favorite. And I don't feel like I would hesitate putting money at all on Houston.
Right.
At all. Like that seems like a give. That's like the free money bet of the week, I feel like. And even though it's the opposite side, but give me the Texans and a free 2.5 points. Like, come on. Love it. Absolutely love it. All right. Panthers, Lions. This one should be a Lions blowout. It's a home game for the Lions. The Panthers they're just lost. I mean, Miles Sanders is, I've been saying it for years. I hate Miles Sanders. I think he's a terrible running back, but he had a good Eagles team around him, and that helped him out a lot. And now you're seeing that doesn't exist anymore. So the Lions do have some injury concerns, though. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown is listed as doubtful, but they get, what's his name back? Williams. What's his name? Jameson Williams. They get him back they shorten his suspension, so he'll be back. We'll see what his playing time looks like, but he's an elite wide receiver, so he could be very good. We just haven't really got to see it because he was coming off injury his rookie year and then started this year suspended. But love Jameson Williams. somebody to grab and stash in fantasy if you've got that right now. But if he's out there, I would take a flyer, stash him, see what he does this week. If it's obviously he's going to be working back, so take that with a grain of salt as you look at his stats this week. But he could be he's one of those like one catch for 80 and a touchdown type of talent. So
yeah.
But yeah, I like Reynolds and Khalif Raymond in this game, especially without Amon-Ra St. Brown. He takes up probably 70% of the targets. So without that, you distribute that out to Reynolds and Raymond. I think both of them are going to feast today. Also, Gibbs is out, so Montgomery should have a big game as well, especially if they get up big. It's going to be a lot of David Montgomery in this one.
They definitely like Montgomery. They definitely feed him a lot. He seems to be in the game a lot, getting a lot of touches. So
yeah. It's kind of I don't know what it is with the Lions and running backs, because we talked about this last year. Like, they just hated DeAndre Swift.
Yeah,
and it turns out he's pretty damn good in Philly.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
And he was pretty good before. His like rookie year, he was outstanding, and it was just. And then they just decided we don't want to use him anymore, and then they get Gibbs in the first round. And they're using Montgomery over him. It's like, what did you draft a running back in the first round for? And you're going to give it to the vet who's not nearly as good. It doesn't make sense. But this one, I like the wide receivers for the Lions, and I think they're going to be just fine without Amon-Ra St. Brown. So if you have Lions receivers that you need to plug in, definitely. For Alex's question, I'm not sure if I trust him. But man, Addison hasn't done anything. He has been ice cold. I might consider taking the flyer there. So who does Minnesota? I don't even see Minnesota. Are they on bye this week?
Hey, Travis, good morning. I'm watching your game here. I'm rooting for you.
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you, Buffalo, they can't get anybody open. The Jags are really shutting down the
Vikings Chiefs. Vikings Chiefs Sunday night
or
afternoon game. Alex. God, that's hard, man. That is a hard question. I mean, the Vikings are going to have to keep up with the Chiefs because their defense does not look good. I would probably. I would go with Addison. I would stick with Addison. That game should be a back and forth a lot more than the Lions game. They should be up and in control of that game. I would stick with Addison just for the potential. Travis, yep, definitely good to see you again. It's been, haven't seen you in a few weeks.
Williams is saying it's a non-injury related. He's questionable. He's on track to play, but he's expected to be limited to about 20 snaps.
Yeah, because he's coming off his suspension, right. So I don't think his conditioning.
May not be, big.
I don't think his conditioning is up.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, he's so fast that he can get 2 catches in the game and have 2 touchdowns and 150 yards. Like, he's that fast. But yeah, I think first week back at practice they're going to ease him back in. But with St. Brown out, he's probably going to see the field. So, well, it's good to have you back, Travis. Missed you. And it looks like potentially a pretty big win coming for you guys if you can hold for 5 minutes. So we'll see. Yep. I'm rooting for you. We could use that Bills loss there for
us. Like personal foul on the Jags. It looks like they hit Allen high and low, but
they're going to just let him walk down the field now. Watch.
18, all right, so 18-7, 5 minutes left.
Jim, Joe. Detroit 9-point favorites. You like that number?
It's high. It's high because we haven't been seeing a lot of. Well, I mean, there's been some blowouts, but I think Detroit are they home today?
They are home.
Yeah, I think Detroit wins, no problem. I think they cover the spread. They win by 10, sure.
Okay. I feel pretty good about that. 9 points for the Lions. It just feels like a trap. Yeah, from years past. Well, so it's one of those uneasy things. So
you know what? It's like in my mind, I go back to the KC game that they opened. I think they opened the season. Was a game week 1, week 2, where they won
against the Lions,
and they just looked dominating. So it's and they've
They look
been
good.
pretty consistent. So I have no reason not to think they're going to cover. So,
all right. Next game up: Titans at the Colts. Colts 2-2, Titans 2-2. Tennessee's 2.5-point favorites in this one. So slight favorite. Anthony Richardson's playing, and he looks really good as well for a rookie. The Tennessee Titans completely revolve around Derrick Henry. I mean, there's no question about it. The Colts defense does not look very good. I wonder if our Colts fan is back from last week that we had in. We'll see. But I mean, Richardson's the real deal for sure. And I think we had that question last week about where do we rank? What was it? Burrow, Richardson, and Cousins for the year. And we all said Burrow, but man, I've got to pull that one back because that team looks like it is in deep trouble right now. Yep. So I mean, I don't know about Burrow for the rest of the year. I might push Richardson to the top of that list. Just because of his two-way potential, and Kirk Cousins doesn't look particularly dominating. So I think from a fantasy perspective, I would have to say right now I'm putting Anthony Richardson ahead of Joe Burrow and Kirk Cousins for fantasy
when you look at last week, Richardson was 11 for 25, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Burrow 20 of 30, no touchdowns, and Cousins 12 of 19 for 139, 2 TDs, 2 INTs.
Yeah.
So I mean Richardson, but you look at Burrow. Higgins had 2 for 19 last week. I mean,
he left with what's he got? Broken rib.
Yeah. Well.
So he didn't. Right. Yeah. He
Burrow. I mean, what did they score? 3 points? Yeah, Cincy 3 points last week.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
And so Richardson, right? Is if he look at this touchdown Buffalo. It was penalty after penalty. Travis, I'm sure you're watching it. Penalty after penalty. They sacked Allen. Penalty. They hit him again, penalty. Now, touchdown. You got to make it a close game overseas.
Yeah, you got to keep that market engaged.
Yep.
So,
anyway.
All right, well, we'll see. They got 4 minutes left. So let's see if Jaguars can control the clock and win that one. But yeah, I think I like Anthony Richardson from a fantasy standpoint, again, against this Titans team that is not scary. If you could stop Derrick Henry, you can completely control the Titans. It's just, can you stop Derrick Henry? Because he's a wrecking ball, and eventually
and the Colts are home. Yeah. It's a loud place to play in. The fans come out. I think the Colts win at home. Sure,
I do too. So yeah, definitely start Henry in this one. The Colts side, I mean, Michael Pittman's still a nice play with Richardson, and we're going to see Jonathan Taylor back this week. I don't know how much he's going to play. But he got that nice 3-year contract extension that he was wanting. And we're going to see a little bit of Jonathan Taylor again. So,
yeah. I mean, I don't know how up to speed he's going to be. I mean, is he going to be on a pitch count, or is he, full board today?
He's a tough one, right? From a fantasy perspective, do you start him, right? I mean, he's so good, but how much trust are you putting into him? With bye weeks, it might not be a bad play. You might not have a better option, but he is definitely a keep an eye on and see if next week judge this week to see if you could start him next week is what I would say, unless there's no other options. If it's like him or Matt Breida, I'm probably going with Taylor. So, but yeah, I'm picking the Colts as well. And since we're talking about Matt Breida, let's talk about your Giants traveling down to hot, sunny Florida to take on the Dolphins. They're only 13-point dogs, surprisingly. Only 13-point dogs. Is there any hopes? You could vent a little bit too if you want this one, because we don't really need to talk a lot about the Giants. But the Dolphins will be an interesting talk.
It's going to be it's a classic trap game. It's a classic trap game for Miami.
It's 87 degrees in Miami too, by the way.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Weather doesn't matter. I think the only way the Giants get out of here with a win is if they're looking past them. Right. So who do they have next week? Another AFC opponent, I think. AFC East. Don't they? Who's Miami playing next week? I thought I looked at that earlier in the week. Who do
Carolina.
Oh boy.
Carolina.
Oh boy.
So unless they're looking 2 weeks ahead to Philly, I don't think of this as a trap game.
I mean, some teams play down to their opponent, right?
Yeah.
We've seen it. So I mean, you looked at what happened Thursday night. Washington I mean, if Chicago puts up 40 on Washington, if the Washington took the Eagles to overtime, where we said that would be a blowout last week, Washington Philly, we said Howell has no chance. And what did he throw for 300 yards against the Eagles? And they go to overtime, ridiculous. But
Yeah.
I think if Miami, kind of throttles down, is there a chance? That's the only chance they have. I mean, if you saw the O-line last week in Seattle, we have a couple of injuries there. We got a makeshift line. I don't know what Miami's defensive line looks like. I don't watch a lot of the games, but if they're halfway decent, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if our defense, which I think has not created a turnover yet this season, I think both of our teams. Is that right? Is it
the Jets had 3 turnovers against Josh Allen.
Oh, that's right. What am I talking about? Yeah, there was something I just saw where the Jets and Giants.
Jets and Giants haven't led in a game. Haven't taken an offensive snap.
That's what I saw.
With the lead.
That's even worse
this year.
That's even worse. So
that changes today. By the way,
I'm gonna say take the points. Take the points. I'm gonna say take the points, and the Giants try and keep it close. Maybe the Giants get their first turnover today, get a couple of hits on Tua, make them dizzy.
Wow. Well, that's their only choice. That's their only path is to hit Tua so hard that he has to leave the game. I mean, outside of that, forget about it. I mean, 13 points in an NFL game makes you nervous. That's a hard betting line to take.
But they can score. They could be 40-3, right?
Yes, it could be. Well, we saw it could be 70-3. I mean, they could score points. I would. If you're forcing
there too.
Yeah. Probably won't see much from him.
Today. Is he active today? I don't even know.
Probably not. But yeah, I mean, you start your Dolphins in this one. Start Waddle. Start your running backs. I mean, everybody will be involved, and the Dolphins don't seem to throttle back. They just keep playing. They're like this next team we're talking about. They go all out, and they make you stop them down to the last minute. And
I didn't hear from my sister today either. I didn't hear from her this week.
I don't think she's concerned about this game, but yeah, she'll be talking. I'm sure
that might be the case.
So
I'm gonna say I'll take Miami because I want to bet with my head.
Yeah. I mean, definitely Miami in this one. So, but even if I mean, I think it's a victory for the Giants to not lose by 14. That's kind of the goal, I think, going into this one. Let's try to lose by 10 or less, right? And that's a victory you got to walk away with. Yep. But all right,
Saints, look at what the Jets did to the Chiefs. You don't know. You don't know if the game is not played on paper, right?
It can be done. So we'll see. So Saints Patriots. This is an interesting one. I don't know the status. Derek Carr is active. Shoulders clear is still bothering him, but he will start this one. So, so he will be. They will have their quarterback. Kamara doesn't look like he used to. I don't know what's going on there. Patriots side of the house. They're it as well as I do. They're a stingy team. They play hard. Saints defense is also very good. When we're talking about watching quarterbacks, I mean, how much heat should be on Mac Jones right now? I mean, he got benched last week. It took one huge broken play the week before for him to beat the Jets. Right. Yep. Without that, I mean, if you take that one play away, he didn't look good against the Jets. He looked terrible last week to the point to where he got benched. If that happens again, I mean, I wish John was here because I'd love to hear what his take on Mac Jones is. But if that happens again, the Patriots are in some serious trouble, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why he's not here today because in my notes, interception.
Oh no!
No, Jags got the interception.
What? Shouldn't they have the ball? Timeout number 2.
No, I'm sorry. You're right. They nice complete. For some reason, I thought so. Last week, John was saying that against Dallas, they were going to keep it close. New England would be within 7 points. We'll hold Dallas in check. Dak was 28 for 34 for 261 with a touchdown. And they won 38-3. So do I think anything new is going to happen today? No. I mean, he's not a good quarterback. But Belichick finds a way to take out their main guy. So I think it could be a close game. But I don't think it's going to have anything to do with Jones. And what are the points in this game?
This one is New England is a 1.5 point favorite, over under of 38.5. So
and they're
again,
at home.
And they're at home.
I'm going to say New England wins the game at home. Low scoring, at home, nothing to do with Mac Jones. Maybe defensive scores.
Okay. Man, I mean this is a hard game.
Carr still has that AC. What is it, AC joint or something? I don't know. I mean, he's goes down one time. I would be trying to take care of that. But
yeah. Hang on. I've got to. I'm just reviewing my teams as the games come up, and sadly, I've got Gabriel Davis on the bench. I was hoping Barkley was going to play. I have him in my flex, but now everybody else I own is on a bye. So. I'm going to
ETN just broke one. Oh, touchdown Jags. He broke a 3 and there's no flag. I can't believe it.
Wow. Yeah, and I've got him on the bench too, so that's
ETN?
Good, yeah.
That was probably a 30-yard run for a touchdown.
I have good I got to pull that league up and I'll tell you who I've got.
35-yard TD run.
Wow, good.
He's
good.
23 for 132 for 2 TDs.
Yeah, that hurts. Oh, no, I take that back. I benched Trevor Lawrence for CJ Stroud. I picked him up this week.
So you put ETN in?
No, in that other league. No, ETN's on the bench.
That's good.
God, 34 points.
Oh yeah.
So this league, I've got Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, DeAndre Swift, Breece Hall, Hunter Henry, and I have Jalen Waddle in my flex spot. Probably not the right call. I had Travis in there, but I mean, he had 8 points last week, 5 points against Kansas City the week before that. I wasn't feeling good about that one. So regretting that decision right now.
He just squirted through the line too. I don't know how he got through there. Travis, you saw it?
That hurts.
Yeah, he squirted through. It looked like there was no room. I don't know how he got through that.
Man. Oh, you know what else I need to pay attention to is what's going to happen in Denver with the Jets game for their running back situation. So I ended up picking that up, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit too. So let's keep rolling here.
What are you saying, New England or New Orleans?
You know what? I'm going to go with the Saints. Just because I can't root for the Patriots. So give me the Saints in that one. But this one I wouldn't put money on. It's just I would leave this one alone. Fantasy wise, I'm not concerned with starting anybody in this game. If you need to throw somebody, throw in Kamara. Patriots are probably going to try and stop him, focus on him. So that doesn't make me happy. Maybe Michael Thomas has a good game. I don't know. We'll see. All right, Ravens, Steelers. No Kenny Pickett, so you're going to have Trubisky, and Ravens should just really throttle them, I think.
Yep. End of discussion.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything here
Ravens. Yep.
Yeah, start your Ravens. Go from there. Baltimore is only a 4.5 point favorite, which is insane.
Wow.
Okay. Eagles, Rams. This could be an interesting one. The Eagles have to fly all the way to LA. They are 4-0, but they've had a couple close calls. The Rams, 2-2. They look a lot feistier than I was expecting them to. I really thought the Rams would have trouble winning any games. I know they have Stafford, but with Kupp out, which he's back this week, we'll see. That's going to give them a boost. Can the Rams upset Philly and give them their first loss?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
I think they can. I mean,
give me a confidence percentage on that from 0 to 100.
Okay. From 0 to 100, I'll say 60.
60. Okay. All right. So you're not overly confident that this could
Yeah.
happen, but there's
Mid 60s. No, I
optimistic hope.
I think because of what Washington did to them last week,
Yeah.
and the Eagles, there's been a couple of games this year that they bounces went their way and things happened and they skirted out of some games winning.
Mhm.
But I think the Rams are, yeah, Alex. I think they are extremely competitive, and I think they could do it. They're going to be at home. Um, I don't see any reason why they couldn't win the game against Philly. Philly's traveling across the country. Yeah, I think the Rams could win today.
Yeah. And it
I
looks
said
like
last week that look at this. Look at this.
just to switch back here,
Touchdown,
the
touchdown Buffalo.
Bills just walked down the field.
Two
Literally.
two bombs, and then he runs it in for the touchdown.
Jeez. All right. Well,
2
Jaguars
minutes
got to
left.
keep going.
2
Jaguars
minutes
got to
left.
keep the pressure on.
Yep.
Man. Prevent defenses, maybe? I don't know. All right. Yeah, Alex,
He keeps on rolling out, right?
I am impressed with the Rams this year. Like I said, complete transparency. I was not thinking the Rams were going to win a lot of games. They're sitting at 500 right now, and I do think they could upset, but I don't think they will.
What's the line on the game?
This is 4-point favorite for Philly, over under 50. I think that is by far almost the highest scoring, second highest scoring.
So
game of the day.
Home dogs, Rams home dogs at 4:00. Wow.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of points too. I mean, 50, I could see 1.5, 4 points. You said.
Yep, 4 points.
Wow, I would take the 4 points. I would take the 4 points.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good betting line. I'm straight up. I'm just going to say the Eagles win this one. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it takes the last second field goal for Philly to win this one. I think the Rams will keep it tough, especially with cutback. That's gonna help them out a lot. So, are you taking the Eagles to win or the Rams to win?
I'm going to take the Rams.
Okay.
Eagles are not going to go undefeated. They got to lose at one point, at some point.
I think, I think they will as well. So, all right. Next up, Bengals, Cardinals. We kind of talked about this a little bit with the Jamar Chase stuff. I was just getting ready to see if there's an update on T. Higgins' status, but not expected to play. So he's still questionable, but he's not expected. This is the first of the early afternoon games, this is the only early afternoon game. The other two are 4:25 starts. So this one's going to be in Arizona. Another team that has looked very competitive. Their record's 1-3, but Arizona has not been a pushover whatsoever. The Bengals, on the other hand, have had 2 games where they've scored 3 points out of 4. So this is a game where you feel like the Bengals should win this one.
I know.
But I don't think they're going to.
Yeah, I mean, so Arizona lost 35-16 to San Fran last week. Cincy got crushed 28-3, right?
Yeah.
27-3. So, yeah, I mean, you want to root for Burrow, right? You want to root for the Bengals. You want them to get it together. But, man, it's tough. But I don't like Arizona either. This is probably the worst game for me today is this game. I really – I want to say Bengals because I would rather them win because I'm not a fan of the Arizona Cardinals. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably a low scoring game. And,
but Arizona, I mean, they lost 20-16 week 1 against Washington. Okay. They lost 31-28 to the Giants, which it took everything the Giants had to come back and win that one.
That's right.
So, 2 very close games to lose to start the year. Then they beat Dallas. And they lost to San Francisco.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
I mean, that was the trap game for Dallas right there.
I mean, look at that. They are a combined 7 points away from being 3-1 right now. So they're not a bad team. And Josh Dobbs looks good. He looks good. So I mean, this is a game that, I'm gonna say, give me Arizona in this one. And I think they can pull that upset. I really do.
Yeah. And they're at home. I mean, I'm going to take Cincy because I want Cincy to win. That's really my only reason there. But It could
All
go
right.
either way. I don't really like this game at all.
It could. The Bengals are the better team. I will say
Yes,
that, but the
on
Bengals
paper,
are not
yes,
playing good football at all.
that's
And
right.
if this Jamar Chase news is true, I don't know if anybody else has seen that. Alex
Yeah, I
is
did.
extremely active on the Twitter sphere. So Alex, you let me know what you found
It's
in
X.
that
It's the X
in
sphere.
the X sphere, which it's stupid. But yeah, Alex, let me know. Let me know what you've got for confirmation from your inside sources there. If this Bengals Jamar Chase stuff is true or just ruffling feathers, and we'll go from there. So, all right, you're saying Bengals. Bengals are the better team, but they're going to lose to Arizona. That's what I'm going to say. Even though Arizona has been playing really bad at home,
Mhm.
but we'll see. Their Bengals are 0-2 on the road. Arizona's 1-1 at home. So we'll see there. All right, let's go. This is surprising. So let's talk about the Jets and Broncos, both 1-3 teams. It is surprisingly 73 degrees, full sun in Denver today.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the spread on this game?
Denver by now 2. It was 2.5. Oh, Alex doesn't know the Chase news. So, and this is so I got an X notification this morning that I guess he got into a little thing with
One of the
Coach Taylor
coaches?
there and is now requesting a trade. So I don't know if it's true. I haven't had time to dig into it because I was getting ready for this show. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's a made up story or if it's actually true. So that's where I'm going to have to ask you to do some research because you're our stats and research guy, and because every show needs a stats and research guy. That's Alex. So let me know if that's true. All right. So yeah, Jets Broncos 2-point favorites. It was 2.5, but so that line's dropped a little bit. I don't understand why. So I shouldn't say I don't understand why, but if Zach Wilson plays like he did last week, this is an easy Jets win. If we see the Zach Wilson that everybody knows and loves so much, I can understand the argument. I don't think Denver's that good of a team.
Mhm.
I think the Jets defense will bring a ton of pressure on Wilson. If Javonte Williams isn't playing, that takes out your number one running back, which McLaughlin looked pretty good coming in last week, but and the Jets have not done very good against the run. So that'll be an option. That's something I'm keeping an eye on because I did pick him up because I do have Javonte Williams in a league. So I quickly grabbed that handcuff there in case he doesn't play. I'll have to switch it out. But I think the Jets defense is much better than Denver's. I think the matchup to watch here is going to be Garrett Wilson against Patrick Surtain. That's going to be a fun matchup to watch. He's a very good corner. And with DJ Reed out for the Jets, is this when we see Sauce shadow Sutton? I mean, that's going to be the big question because Sutton's clearly their number one. Judy is very hit or miss. So if I'm coaching this team, I'm telling Sauce you're shadowing Sutton this week. And it's probably going to happen because I was forced to start Sutton in fantasy as well. So I expect Sauce to shadow him and him to get me a big fat goose egg because that's how my fantasy teams typically operate. But yeah, I'm really excited. We were talking about this earlier in the show. Like Zach Wilson, was last week the step forward or was it just a fluke game? And I think that's what all eyes are going to be on. That's what I'm going to be watching. And obviously, I'm taking the Jets in this one. You start Garrett Wilson because you have to. He's so good, and Zach Wilson looked for him. I think he had 14 targets in the game last week against KC, so he looks for him early and often. Also, if you need a tight end and you're sitting out there like I got Kyle Pitts, go pick up Tyler Conklin. Denver is not good against the tight ends, and Zach looked for Conklin quite a bit last week. He spread it out to all the tight ends against Kansas City. Uzama had a touchdown. Conklin had a couple of big catches, and Rutgers had a couple of big catches as well. But I like Conklin the best out of those three. So if you need a tight end flyer in daily or fantasy this week, go grab Tyler Conklin with 9 minutes left and add him to your starting team. Broncos side, keep an eye on the running back situation. I think that's start either one. The Jets have not been that great against the run this year, so whoever's going to start, plug them in. I think it's a good play. Otherwise, I don't trust Russell Wilson. And also, this is the game that we've been looking for because Sean Payton called out Nathaniel Hackett as one of the worst coaches of all time. I think this is a game from the Jets offense that if Zach can play the way he did, they're not going to let up. They are going, if they score 75 against the Broncos, they're going to do it if they have the opportunity to. So they're going to, in this game.
In one game? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I knew what you were saying.
Well, because the Dolphins put up 70 against the Broncos. So if the Jets have the opportunity to put up 75, they're not. What I'm saying is they're not going to take their foot off the gas. You're not going to say that the Jets offensive coordinator was possibly one of the worst coaching years of all time, and he has the opportunity to call plays to score points. He's going to be like, all right, Sean, let's see how you like these apples, right? So,
right.
And then that's I wouldn't back off. So anyway, give me the Jets, obviously.
Shocker. So I still look at Russell Wilson versus his brother, Zach Wilson. And I got to say, I'm taking Russell Wilson every day. I cannot bet on the Jets. I cannot pick the Jets until he shows me that he can be consistent.
Yep.
Mile high, thin air, okay, sunny, like you said, and hot. But I think from a quarterback perspective, you got to go. Look at this. Oh, that might be the game right there. Sorry. It's 13 seconds left now. Buffalo has the ball, 25-20. But I think he tried the lateral, and Jags recovered the lateral. So that should be the game. I don't see any flags. I think that's it.
Nice.
Wow.
All right.
And
So
they
you're
fumbled the kickoff too. They almost turned it over on the kickoff.
Jeez.
Yeah, on the 5-yard line. So anyway, I'm saying I'm taking Denver at home. Yes.
Okay.
Short answer because 12:54. It's getting close.
I hope you're wrong. All right. So
I know you do.
We've only got a couple games left, but two really good ones in the afternoon.
I can't wait for the night game. But go ahead.
Yeah. So Chiefs, Vikings. This is really and you start everybody in this game. Well, no, you don't. Sorry, but Kirk Cousins. I mean, this game's probably going to be televised as the afternoon game. If it's on TV, just stay away from Kirk Cousins, right? So I should probably. I don't know how Alex is going to feel about that, saying start Addison, but Kirk Cousins probably going to have 3 interceptions in this game. I'm going to take the Chiefs as well. The Vikings just look so bad, but Justin Jefferson, you start. Travis Kelce, you start. And that's the final for the Jaguars. Congratulations, Travis.
Yes.
Good win for the Jags and for the AFC East. We all want to say thank you. We appreciate you on behalf of all AFC East fans, minus the Bills. That was good. But yeah, so Chiefs, you're going to start Kelce. I still don't trust any wide receivers for Kansas City. Justin Jefferson, you could start. Addison, like we talked about, not a bad play because they're probably going to be in a lot of catch up in this one. So, but tell me who you're liking in this one.
So KC, Minnesota. We say Cousins always puts up numbers. Cousins last week, 12 for 19, 139. But I know John likes to say he's a good fantasy guy. Here for you all, very good. I think KC goes in here and wins this game too. I think Pacheco has been getting a lot of love.
Yeah, he's looking good.
So I think he's a good play. Minnesota. What did Minnesota do last week? 21-13 versus Carolina. Jefferson 6 for 85, 2 touchdowns. Madison 17 for 95. Wow. So they actually put up some numbers last week, both of them.
Yeah, Madison looked good last week. And I should say, start him with confidence against the Chiefs. That's still a nice play there. Really, it's going to come down to Cousins. This game's going to be on TV in most of the country, I'm sure, for the afternoon, for the game of the week or whatever.
Kelce was only 6 for 60 versus the Jets, no touchdowns. I think they definitely he gets a couple of touchdowns today, probably 2.
Yeah.
Have his girlfriend on the screen, jumping up and down. Probably just for that reason they'll feature him. They get 2 touchdowns. They keep showing her.
Right. Got to keep the
assuming
Swifties
she's
happy.
going to be there. Right. That's right. The
Mhm.
trailers. I think they're called trailers now. They said
Oh,
Travis, whatever, trailer park. I don't know what it is,
jeez.
but I'm
Uh,
saying KC. KC. Sorry for
all right.
dragging it out, but I'm
Yeah.
going KC.
Okay. KC, and feel comfortable starting everybody in that one.
Yeah, I think Pacheco does nice, and I think
Yeah.
Kelsey too. So you're taking
Okay.
KC as well?
I'm taking KC as well. All
All
right.
right.
So let's quickly. I really don't care about the Monday night game. I mean, that's going to be Packers, I think, win that one, but um, Packers Raiders, that's whatever. But Cowboys 49ers. So
Yeah, I
this is
think the
this is a
Packers win that game too.
okay.
Dallas and San Fran tonight.
Yeah, so this is going to be a fun one, right?
Yes.
4-0, 3-1. I mean, Cowboys could really make a huge statement with a win over the 49ers, and that's a home game for San Francisco. Like,
Yep.
big game. 45-point over under, 3.5-point favorites for San Francisco. So, I mean, the Cowboys, I can't ask you, do the Cowboys have a chance of doing this? Because they do. Their offense can do it, their defense can do it. Micah Parsons is unreal. I don't know if you've talked to your Philly buddy who said Micah Parsons was a guaranteed bust.
Yeah, he said he's a bum. He's a bum.
Yeah,
I said, okay.
I remember you saying he's going to be guaranteed bust. I guarantee it. Like, you should buy him like a Micah Parsons plaque, like like a bust, like like do a bust of Micah Parsons.
A mock Hall of Fame bust.
Is this the bust you were guaranteeing for Micah
Maybe that's
Parsons?
what he
Yeah.
No, but I mean,
right.
Micah was limping around last week. I don't know if it was a knee or an ankle or what, but
Mhm.
and Diggs is out for the season with Dallas. I think San Fran at home. San Fran just has too many weapons. I don't. It was Ayuk playing tonight. Was there something with Ayuk being hurt, or is he out?
The only thing I'm seeing right now for this game is Elijah Mitchell out.
Okay, I think
So,
San Fran's just too strong. I think San Fran at home wins. I think it's a high scoring game. I think both teams probably score 30. But I think San Fran. I think they go down the field, back and forth, back and forth. San Fran, I think, pulls the game out.
okay.
Wins at home. San Fran's tough at home. They're a tough team to play there.
They're a tough team to play anywhere. They're very, very good.
Even tougher at home.
God, this is such a hard game to pick from. I mean, the weapons on both sides are legit. The running games on both sides are legit.
I think
I like.
49ers have more.
Obviously, the running game tilts to San Francisco with McCaffrey, but I think the Cowboys with CeeDee Lamb looks unreal this year as well. So, I mean, wide receivers, I'd probably give it to the Cowboys. Even Debo and Ayuk are really good, but man, CeeDee Lamb's really tough. But yeah, I'm going to say 49ers just have the better all-around pieces, and it is being a home game. I'm going to say they squeak this one out. I think they will. It's going to be a win at the end of the game. So we'll see. We'll see.
Okay, Travis. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. So, yep. Congratulations, Travis. Big win. That's awesome. 3-2 Jaguars. Heck yeah. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, both picking the Packers in the late game, and it is now start time. So hopefully you got your teams lined up, ready to go. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Tell all your friends, tell your family, tell your wives to tell their friends and family. Everybody you know should be on the Fantasy Slant. If they're not, they're definitely wrong. So yeah, and we'll be back again, of course, every Sunday morning to go over these games and get you guys ready for your week ahead. So enjoy the games. Good luck to everyone. Alex, enjoy your week off with the Chargers on the bye. And just sit back and enjoy some football. So until next week, Jim, have a good one. We'll see you guys all very soon. Peace out.